I'm at 5924. I think it's Jassamine Drive in Dayton, Ohio, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be a concern to the buyer. Our access is an outside clean out in the rear of the home. Not sure why the lens is so dirty here, but let's see if we can wipe that off a little bit. This is a cast iron clean out. It is limited, the access is limited a little bit. I can't go back into the house because this has a turn on it. Basically it forces me to go downstream. But the bathrooms are right on the other side of this wall, so the line basically comes down about 5 to 7 feet basically in the wall in between the two bathrooms. And so it's not much pipe, but it is cast iron. It should be, as soon as we get out past the initial spot here, it should switch over to clay. Cast iron, just a note, especially for kitchen lines that we're unable to inspect, but interior lines like this, cast iron is known to have more like soft clogs, meaning it's easier because of how rough the inside of the pipe gets due to it rusting, which is obviously just part of the nature of the material, and it gets a little rougher, so it's more common to have like soft clogs from like excessive toilet paper, or a major thing is wet wipes. Always mention to people that you should never use wet wipes, even more so with cast iron pipes, because if they catch, they don't break down like toilet paper, and so toilet paper will disintegrate and the line will continue flowing. With wet wipes, if they get stuck, it won't break down, so they tend to build up behind it a lot easier. And so I would just want to mention that as a precautionary thing for people that know they have cast iron lines. So now, because when I put the camera in, it goes straight into here and gets all nasty, I have to pull it back out, and I'm going to try to wipe the camera head off a little bit and then see if I can go back down through there and see if that helps. If not, I'll have to go in and run some water real quick, but I'd probably be better off to do that anyway. Cast iron makes this like black soot when it oxidizes inside the line. You can see it all over my glove, and it's just nasty. It's like liquid charcoal in a way. And so when it gets on the camera, a lot of times it's hard to get off. And it's when I go to put it in there, it just smashes right down in front of it. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go get some water turned on. Okay, we've got some water running. Hopefully, let's rinse the camera off. We're just slushing it back and forth. Alright, there we go. And so you can see here, this is where I'm in the clean out, and nope, that's not good. That's got the camera turned over on itself. There we go. But as soon as it gets past that clean out, it turns to, looks to be concrete, I believe. It's kind of hard to tell. And we immediately have, this may be transite. Well, I just got a big old clump of roots there. I think I actually broke it loose because it's stuck on the front of my camera. So now I'm going to have to try to we have a bunch of roots here. I may end up having to push all the way out, see if I can get all the way out. Dip the camera in. Looks like it's already going to need a cleaning. We have a lot of roots, which is kind of to be expected. Expected this to be a clay line, but at this point it's still kind of hard for me to see what the material is. If this is there's a lot of buildup in the line, and so this isn't the clearest. But what it looks like to me is this may be transite, which is like a, you can see how the stuff is starting to, the connections tend to break down first, and that transite is like a, it's concrete infused with, I can't think of the name of the material now. They used to put it in tile, and they used to coat pipes with it and stuff, and it's like an insulator, and I cannot think of what. But at any rate, it's not necessarily a bad material, but as you can see here, this is clay in front of us. I'm hoping I can just rinse the camera off in the water flowing by. Hopefully when I pull back it'll stay clear. But you can see the difference. The transite is, man, this is going to bug me. Any rate, it's a material that wasn't used for very long. I mean, it has a long history, but it wasn't used a whole lot as far as in sewer lines, and so you can see the connection of the two, and it tended to do okay, but it breaks down very easily. Well, I shouldn't say easily, but it breaks down over time, and it usually starts deteriorating at the joints. And so I think that's what's happening. It's not in a bad shape yet, but it is something that's going to have to be, you know, paid attention to. I just wish I could keep my camera lens clean, and it doesn't seem like it's working. I start to pull back, and then it hazes over. But it was kind of a composite material, as far as it was a concrete, and it was infused with, oh my gosh, the stuff that we know now causes cancer, mesothelioma. But it doesn't, you know, unless you mess with it, it's not a problem. You know, you just got, you know, sewage going through it now, so it's not affecting you at all. But I'm going to go pause the video, and I'm going to turn on some more water and hope I can get more, because I can't keep the lens clean. Okay, so looks like running a little bit more water has helped. So basically the transite, it's asbestos infused concrete. That's what it is. And the stuff breaks down. That's how you got to get that cold, that white look instead of. But at any rate, we do have some. We do have some root intrusion. And usually what happens is this stuff starts to break down at the joints. You can see like right there at that joint, that's where the roots are getting in. So it's not uncommon to have some root intrusion, but you'd want to get this cleaned and re-inspected if necessary, just to be sure that it doesn't damage the pipe any further. Just that it is like a concrete pipe infused this is so frustrating trying to keep this thing clean in this line for some reason. But you can see what happens is it starts to break down at these joints. God, come on, man. Just will not get clean because of all the junk. I want you to be able to see at these joints because you're starting to see the rubber gasketing exposed. Now right now it's not a big issue, but it is something that you do want to pay attention to. And that way you try to stop it from getting worse. But when you clean it, you want to make sure that it doesn't damage the pipe also. But you can see this, the joints don't look bad, but that's usually where they start deteriorating, is right at the joints. So you can see the rubber. They're usually really good at keeping roots out, but you can see there all the roots. And so the line definitely needs to be cleaned of all the roots and flushed out. This is probably the worst spot here. I think this is the spot that I had trouble. I had a little bit of resistance getting through, and it's holding some water up. And so that's at about 34 to 35 feet here. But it's hard to see because I keep getting, my standoff keeps grabbing these roots and pulling them back with me. Actually, I think this is the spot there. Here's the resistance. But it is holding enough water in this area. So 30 and 35. But you can see all these roots that are just stuck to the front of my camera now. You can see this is the worst spot. It's holding water. You can kind of see off in the distance and just how much roots are on the front of my camera. But you can see it's actually covering the top and holding water. And so probably about 30 feet and 35 feet are the worst spots. But this is going to have to be cleaned before you before taking occupancy. Just to be sure that that doesn't back up in the house, because the roots are getting in enough to where they're going to start catching debris and solids and backing up. And I don't know how long the house has been vacant, but you can see here of what I'm pulling off of here. This is what I just pulled off of the front of my camera. So bunch of roots, as you can see in there. But at any rate, yeah, the line looked good structurally. It's in one piece and it is flowing. It just has a lot of root intrusion at a couple spots. It's not horrible. I've seen way worse. If you get it now, it's something that you will want to maintain and do some regular maintenance on, or some preventative maintenance. You could put a chemical down there, something like Rudex, once a year. But you want to get that initial cleaning before you move in, get those roots out of there, open the line up, and then they'll probably run a camera through after that just to make sure that it's not holding water in the places like that one around 30 feet. But mainly it's just going to be maintenance, and you do want to just kind of monitor the condition of that line because it is known to deteriorate over time. But at this point it's still in pretty good shape structurally. And so overall, like I said, the line just needs a little bit of maintenance, and you know, maybe get it cleaned, do some regular preventative chemical treatments like Rudex for a few years, and then after about 5 years, have the line re-inspected just to check the amount of root growth you have, and basically see how well your maintenance is doing, and you can adjust the maintenance schedule going from there. But yep, just need a cleaning and a little bit of maintenance. So that's going to end the inspection at 5924 Jassamine Drive in Dayton, Ohio.